From our Toronto studios, this is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum. I am Ahmed Ramadan. Major U.S. firms, including Comcast, CVS, and T-Mobile, are funding Representative Randy Fine, who called to nuke Gaza and starve Palestinians. This and more on today's show. Stay tuned. Muslim American civil rights groups have denounced Islamophobic attacks against Brooklyn, New York Imam Siraj Wahhaj. The backlash erupted after a photo of the Imam with New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani and council member Yusuf Salam went viral. Right-wing media, led by the New York Post, labeled the leader, who is widely respected by both Muslims and non-Muslims in the city, an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. The longtime African-American community leader has never been charged with any crime. Muslim leaders, including Ziteo's Mahdi Hassan and Texas Islamic scholar Dr. Yasser Qadi, condemned the smear as racist and baseless. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, called the New York Post a racist propaganda outlet and said targeting Imam Wahhaj is slander, not journalism. CAIR and other civil rights groups rallied outside the headquarters of the Post's owner, News Corp, in New York. They called for an end to anti-Muslim fear-mongering. Advocates say the attacks reflect decades of New York Police Department profiling and surveillance of Muslim New Yorkers. After New York City mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani's rise, another South Asian Muslim voice is making waves in U.S. politics. Gazal Hashmi is a Virginia state senator from the Indian city of Hyderabad with family ties in the Pakistani city of Karachi. She is running for lieutenant governor and uniting South Asian voters behind her. Hashmi's campaign focuses on education, healthcare, and immigrant rights, issues that resonate strongly with both Indian and Pakistani American communities. Polls show Hashmi narrowly ahead of her Republican rival, John Reed, 44% to 43% respectively. Reed stirred controversy by debating an AI-generated version of Hashmi after she declined a live debate. If elected, Hashmi would be Virginia's first Muslim and Asian American lieutenant governor. Community leaders say her message of belonging and representation is inspiring a new generation of South Asian Americans to engage in politics. Dozens of major U.S. corporations, including Comcast, CVS Health, and T-Mobile have donated to Florida Republican Representative Randy Fine despite his repeated anti-Muslim remarks. Since entering Congress in April, Fine has called for the starvation of Palestinians. He also urged Israel to nuke Gaza, comparing Palestinians to Japan during World War II. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, has since listed him as an anti-Muslim extremist, citing his violent rhetoric and Islamophobic remarks. Federal Election Commission records show more than 40 corporate and trade PACs have contributed to his campaign. Top donors include defense firms Boeing, General Dynamics, and Israeli company Elbit Systems. Healthcare giant CVS Health, Elevance, Centene, and Cigna have also given funds, reportedly seeking influence in congressional committees overseeing health and labor policy. CAIR has called for Fine's censure and removal from all committee assignments. Hundreds of protesters opposing immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE's anti-immigration crackdowns, blocked the entrance to Coast Guard Island in Alameda, California on Thursday. The crowd gathered to oppose the federal deployment of Border Patrol units near San Francisco. California Highway Patrol, or CHP officers, the state's highway and crowd control police, surrounded the area to restore order. Demonstrators held banners and chanted slogans denouncing President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Tensions rose when officers tackled one protester to the ground and made several arrests as others shouted in defiance. Lines of CHP officers stood guard while protesters continued their sit-in, calling to end what they described as militarized deportations. The protest followed Trump's comments suggesting San Francisco could be the next target in his national anti-immigration operation. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, has praised the San Juan Unified School District in California for launching a Halal certified meal pilot program. The initiative offers halal bean and cheese burritos, allowing Muslim students to enjoy meals that meet their dietary needs. Nutrition Director Sna Nair said the goal is to make every student feel welcome in the cafeteria. The program, first started at Katherine Johnson Middle School, is expanding across the district. CARE's Layli Shirani said inclusive meals reduce bullying and promote understanding. Parents say the program brings cultural respect and economic relief. CARE hopes other California districts follow suit. China and the United States will hold a new round of trade talks in Malaysia as both sides try to cool down a worsening tariff war. Beijing's Commerce Ministry confirmed Vice Premier Ha Lifeng will lead a Chinese delegation to Malaysia's capital, Kuala Lumpur, from October 24th to the 27th for discussions with U.S. officials. The talks come after Beijing imposed strict controls on the rare earths industry, prompting President Donald Trump to threaten 100% tariffs on Chinese imports. Both countries have also introduced arrival fees on each other's ships following a U.S. investigation into China's market dominance. The latest announcement followed a phone call between He Lifeng and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, where both agreed to meet in person. The talks will coincide with Trump's visit to Malaysia for the summit of the Association of Southeast Asian, raising hopes of a breakthrough before his expected meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. A political group in New York has accused India's largest conglomerate, the Tata Group, of aiding Israel's occupation and crimes. Details coming up after the break.
My name is Layla. I was an average kid until Zula Inc. broke into my life because my dad discovered time travel. After that, everything changed.
You're the new girl Layla, right?
Whoa! What if I don't fit in?
Abdullah!
Do I hear my name? Welcome to Vancouver, cuz.
Whoa!
You four have been specially chosen to take our project into the next generation.
You can time travel?
Abdullah! No! Abdullah! Where?
Do you really think I don't know why we had to leave Seattle, Mama?
Now here, keep these close. These should never leave your wrist.
This virtual reality game is crazy. You can even eat. This is reality, buddy. We zoomed through a wormhole.
Oh no, my Go Watch! It's gone!
What does this do?
That's Al-Khwarizmi. You know, the father of mathematics. It's because of him we have algorithms.
I will not stop until your legacy, everyone's legacy, lies in ruins. Of course it was you. You little rascals ruined everything.
Your fate will be great. Just don't give up.
Time hoppers.
India's Supreme Court has refused to stop the partial demolition of the 400-year-old Mansa Masjid in Ahmedabad, a historic city in the state of Gujarat. Built during the Mughal era in the early 17th century, the mosque remains an active place of worship. The decision sparked outrage among rights groups who say Gujarat, often described as the laboratory of Hindutva's extremist Hindu politics, has seen repeated demolitions of Muslim sites. The state was also the scene of the 2002 anti-Muslim riots that left nearly 2,000 Muslims dead in 48 hours. Current Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was governor of Gujarat when the violence took place and was banned from the US in 2005 for his role in it. However, the ban was lifted once he became India's Prime Minister in 2014. The Supreme Court said only open land near the Mansa Mosque would be cleared, not the main prayer hall. But lawyers for the mosque said the demolition would damage its heritage and sanctity. The ruling echoes past court decisions, including the 1994 and 2018 Supreme Court judgments, declaring a mosque not an essential part of Islam. In 2019, the court handed over the 500-year-old Babri Masjid site in the city of Ayodhya to Hindus to build the Ram Temple. This was despite the court noting that there was no evidence that the 16th century mosque was built atop a Hindu shrine. A political group in New York has accused India's largest conglomerate, the Tata Group, of aiding Israel's occupation and crimes. In a new 59-page report titled Architects of Occupation, the South Asian organization Salam says Tata is deeply embedded in the architecture of occupation, surveillance, and dispossession of Palestinians. The group says Tata's global branding hides its complicity in what it calls a genocide in plain sight. Its report links Tata's defense arm to Israel Aerospace Industries and U.S. firms supplying parts for F-16 fighter jets as well as Apache helicopters used in Gaza. The document also accuses Tata Consultancy Services, the sponsor of the New York City Marathon, of helping sustain Israel's system of apartheid through its tech partnerships. Activists behind the Tata Bye Bye campaign are urging marathon organizers to drop Tata as sponsor. UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese recently named India among the states supplying arms to Israel. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is dire as aid continues to be restricted by Israel, with only a limited number of trucks trickling in. Hundreds of displaced Palestinians waited near storage centers in central Gaza on Thursday as the UN World Food Programme resumed limited distribution. Boxes of food were stacked inside warehouses after Israel allowed a small number of trucks to cross, far below the ceasefire agreement which went into effect on October 10th. Families queued for hours to collect basic supplies. Many said the parcels would last only a few days. Ahmed al-Shakir, who received one of the parcels, said life remains unbearable and urged full reopening of border crossings. UN officials overseeing the aid said the amount entering Gaza is far from sufficient. Israel and the US continue to reject the involvement of UNRWA despite being exonerated by the ICJ in a ruling earlier this week and being the only organization with the capacity and history to possibly meet the needs. The health ministry in Gaza reports 271 deaths from starvation since 2023 due to Israel's policies blocking much-needed food and aid to the region. The UN confirms that famine conditions still prevail. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, or OIC, has urged the UN Security Council to grant Palestine full membership and support lasting peace in Gaza. Turkey's deputy envoy to the UN, Asli Guvin, speaking on behalf of the OIC, welcomed President Donald Trump's role in brokering the recent Gaza ceasefire. He called it a new vista for durable peace in the Middle East. Guvin called on the Council to act swiftly on Palestine's admission as a full UN member and to sustain efforts towards peace across all Israeli-occupied Palestinian territories. She reminded Council members of the heavy toll of the 2-year Gaza genocide, with more than 68,000 lives lost, including UN staff, medics, and journalists. The OIC also condemned Israel's violence in Syria and Lebanon, declaring its occupation of the Golan Heights null and void. It calls for Israel's immediate, full, and unconditional withdrawal from all occupied Arab lands. Israel is turning its violence to the occupied West Bank after the US brokered Gaza ceasefire with new raids and shelling reported. Israelis from illegal settlements stormed and vandalized a mosque near Nablus, while a Palestinian teenager died from wounds sustained during Israeli military raids. Israel continues to violate the ceasefire, launching airstrikes that killed 2 more Palestinians in Gaza City, and 2 children were wounded when an unexploded shell detonated in the Al-Nasr neighborhood. Israeli artillery also fired shells east of Deir al-Balah in central Gaza early Friday. Meanwhile, civil defense in Gaza is warning residents not to stay in bomb-damaged buildings after one collapsed in Gaza City. Palestinians returning north face a daily struggle for survival amid destroyed homes and ongoing troop presence. Hamas spokesperson Hazem Qasim said the group remains committed to the truce, citing guarantees from Egypt, Qatar, Turkey, and the US. He praised President Donald Trump's statements, considering that so far he has remained in favor of the ceasefire agreement. He said Washington's position rejecting the annexation of the occupied West Bank to Israel is positive. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed at least 68,280 people and wounded 170,375 since October 2023. Pakistan has banned the political religious group Tehreek al-Labbaik Pakistan, or TLP, accusing it of involvement in terrorism and violence. The decision was made by the federal cabinet, led by Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, following a recommendation from the government of Punjab province. The move comes after deadly clashes earlier this month that left 4 people dead, including a police officer, and dozens injured. Nearly 1,000 party members have been arrested. The violence erupted on October 14th when police stopped TLP supporters from marching towards the U.S. Embassy in the country's capital, Islamabad, to protest Washington's backing of Israel's genocide in Gaza. Authorities say they have identified approximately 4,000 financiers linked to the group and plan legal action against them. Under Pakistan's constitution, the government must now seek Supreme Court approval of the ban within 15 days. The TLP was previously banned in 2021, but later reinstated. Engineers at Duke University have created a team of artificial intelligence agents that can act like virtual scientists. The AI system, described in the journal ACS Photonics, designs to test advanced materials with little human help. Using large language models, the agents share tasks such as coding, data checks, and optimization. A central model coordinates their work. When tested, the AI's designs nearly match those of human experts. Researchers say this could transform how new materials, chemicals, and technologies are discovered. They say it will help make scientific research faster and more independent from human input. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We are a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.